Good morning, Rainbow Push family. We have an exciting weekend coming up. I want to thank all of the presidential candidates who are working hard to meet us at our convention. I am praying that Kamala Harris will be at the Education Day activities at the convention on June 28th because she has so much empathy and she's focused so much on education. I'm hoping that our former Vice President Biden will show up for labor because he's been with the blue-collar worker. He's been with labor. I just hope he'll show up. I don't know who's coming. I don't know whether they're coming, but I know we've invited everyone, Santita, so I'm looking forward to Buttigieg. He is coming for Business Day. He has been able to turn businesses around in his town as mayor of South Bend. I don't know what he might do in the country. I'm not endorsing him. I'm just saying I'm glad he's coming. Now, there are some others. We're looking for Elizabeth Warren. We want her there. We want her power, her spirit, and so many others. We're looking at the plight of workers. We're going to be looking at the crisis in education at every level. We're going to be looking at what do women need in this 2020. If you're running for office, what is it that women are asking for? We're wondering, what do the workers really need? Not just your words, but what public policies are we demanding that whoever runs for president, what should they address? Well, we're going to be looking at young people, the millennials. What do you need? I know you're graduating with student loan debt greater than credit card debt. I know that the Women's Luncheon is going to address some of those issues. We're looking internationally. How much money are we willing to invest in the country, the continent that has given so much to us? All of our technology depends on the continent of Africa. And so we will have 100 delegates from Africa that will join us at the convention. We're going to be looking at businesses. What do businesses like the business that Rev Jimmy Daniels, who's here with us today, the cleaning services, what are they looking for? What do professional services want in these, what do they want the candidates for president, the candidates for Senate? What public policies will help our business? That's why you're coming to the convention. You want to register now, and then we have this major town hall on Tuesday. We want to know, how are we now, 400 years later, what has America done for us or to us? Where are we, what are our challenges going forward? And so we want our candidates for every office to be with us on July the 2nd. As we close our convention, we're looking at 1619 to 2019. Well, that's so much for that. But educators, before we get to the convention, you need to know there is a crisis in education. Teachers are not getting the pay they should, but students are not getting the education that they deserve. And so we're looking at education from pre-K all the way through college and to graduate school and to a career. Next Friday, on the anniversary of Brown versus the Board of Education, we're convening educators, parents, and business people. What do businesses expect education systems to provide? How do we graduate students who cannot read at grade level? How is it that we have students that have no exposure to technology? We're going to wrestle with those issues. We are asking educators, register now, go to pushexcel.org, go to rainbowpush.org, sign up for this one-day education summit. You'll get CPDU credits, as Santita has already indicated, but more than that, you begin to focus on the public policies that impact you and your students. Parents, if you have the time, you should come because you need to know what your children are getting and are not getting. A great keynote speaker will be Nicole Hannah-Jones. She will be joining us next Friday from 8 to 4. She is keynoting the luncheon. Judge Greg Mathis will be there. He can talk about his journey from jail to judgeship and what that means to so many of our mostly African-American males who are behind prison bars, who leave there without any opportunity for meaningful employment, and yet they're dropped back into the same communities where they left. Only they are broker and less prepared to reintegrate into society. Well, this Mother's Day, don't get caught up in the cards and the gifts and what I deserve. There are mothers who are struggling today. There are mothers who won't get a card today because they're in homeless shelters. There are mothers who won't get taken to dinner today because there's no one to take them. There are mothers who have no home to even cook a dinner because they're without food and shelter. There are mothers who are really not celebrating because their daughters are missing and no one's looking for them. There are mothers today who are victims of domestic violence, and so they're in shelters hidden away somewhere. And so as we talk about Mother's Day, those of us who are not experiencing that level of pain, we must fight for those who are. And so today at lunch, we are celebrating mothers whose children can't get them a gift, but we're going to feed you a wonderful Mother's Day, a luncheon at Push today. That's our small gift to you. We have some gifts. So if you don't have anybody taking you out tomorrow and nobody called you today, come by Push, 930 East 50th Street, 1 o'clock. We're serving mothers. We're celebrating those, and we're celebrating mothers in the tradition. There's a biblical mother that nobody ever talks about. Her name is Rizpah. She had 2 children by Saul, was married to Saul, and so they killed her sons and hung them on trees like the lynching that we have experienced as African Americans. She wanted her sons to simply have a burial. And so for one complete season of the year, while her sons' bodies were hanging on tree limbs, she waved all day long, and half the night she waved away the buzzards so they would not eat the carcasses of her sons. And then she stayed all night to keep the animals away from mutilating their bodies until finally the king said he would bury them. That's what women must do. So when Santita tells you about the woman that started Mother's Day, it's not about us celebrating ourselves. It's fighting for public policy. It is fighting for our children. So mothers, if you want to really join us, join the women's movement at Push, because we're fighting for our children to have a high-quality education, our children to graduate without student loan debt. We're fighting for men and women who are incarcerated to come out with a job and an opportunity. That's why we're here, and fighting for you and serving you is what we do.